Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, March 10th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is, I nurture and follow the calling of my heart. Welcome to Eclipse Week. We have our first eclipse of 2025 this week in the sign of Virgo. We're going to look a little bit at that today. We also have Mercury retrograde beginning this week. Woo! So that's exciting. We also have the Sun and Saturn connecting this week, which is, a big deal. That's a transit that only happens, well, it's a conjunction. So that's a transit that only happens once a year. They only conjunct once a year. And today we just feel the big moon rising, right? So the eclipse is happening late on the 13th, early on the 14th, depending where you live. And like I said, it's in Virgo. And I was having a discussion with a friend, but this feels so connected to everything unfolding that I want to connect into this a little bit before we dig into today's astro. So Virgo energy is so interesting. We have a lineup in Pisces. We've got Sun, Saturn, the North Node in Pisces, Neptune as well, and we have Mercury and Venus currently on their way retrograde back towards the sign of Pisces. In Virgo, we've got the South Node, and the South Node is like know the rules so you can break the rules. Specifically in Virgo, know the rules so you can break the rules. This eclipse in Virgo is going to bring up Virgo energies, which can be analysis paralysis. And it can be hyper fixation on various things, including body and health. So we might have some health stuff come up this week. It can also be where we get very critical. Virgo also just loves to have a plan. Hello, my Virgos out there, right? And that's when I was talking to a friend who has a planet in the sign of Virgo, and a few other people who I've done readings for who have some Virgo energies that are getting hit with this. The energy of planning. And my experience with planning in my life is that I've made plans and God has left. God, universe, spirit's like, this way. This way, this way. And that's the way it's been. And that has been how I have learned the act of surrender while trying to pull in this direction. Like, no, these are my plans, universe. And it's just a simple move along. Shoo, this way, this way, this way. Which is how I ended up here doing astrology. This was not my plan. This was never even close to my plan. My original plan was to be a dancer. So I dance with the cosmos now, and I translate that. However, I think that we have to remember that in with everything and the unfolding of things, right? Now, we can surrender to the universe and to the way it's showing us. We can surrender with a lot of heart, right? We have the courage card. And what popped up for me today is, I know, people have been very upset about a lot of things happening in the government, about various different things, and different things ping people in different ways. And one of the things that have pinged me in this last week was the amount of trees that are getting cut down. And I keep seeing people upset about it, people I care about, lots of tree hugging friends. I love my tree huggers. I would probably identify myself as a tree hugger as well. And meanwhile, in my head, I just hear whispers of plant more trees, plant more trees, plant more trees. And the thing is like, okay, right now things are not going as we would like them to unfold plan-wise. And again, there's more to that there to dig into. And yet there's always solutions where we can step in. And so if you are struggling with something, what is the solution? Where can you, in your heart, follow that lead and trust the action that it's pulling you into? Good aligned action, right? Like planting a tree. There's a lot of spaces that could use a tree, and there's a lot of us who could find an acorn, or I was in a big store today and they were selling sequoia tree seeds. And I was like, oh my gosh, as much as I want to do this and have a sequoia tree in my backyard, this doesn't feel aligned. But there's so many options for where we can step up and plant a tree. And that's just one idea, right? That's just one thing that we can do. And I encourage you in this, despite unfolding plans that are happening, that may be going against the grain of our plans, there are things that you can do that line up, and there are things that we're being called to do in this time that line up with the courage and the call of our heart to promote growth. So I encourage that. Now, I also want to mention that the reality that's unfolding is something that we have all co-created over time, and I don't know how much time it is, but that's part of these nodal energies, these eclipsy energies that we're looking at, because the South Node in Virgo can represent reality and how it's unfolding, but North Node in Pisces reminds us, please don't pay so much attention to reality that you're forgetting to daydream the future. And that's an important step in this. So what we are seeing unfolding is old news. It's old creation. And so I'm not saying don't pay attention to it, but don't forget to give attention to what you're wanting to create. And sometimes we need the contrast to help us create. And so there's a lot of contrast in the world these days to help you input into the field, the Pisces, what it is that you would like to create. And here we go, Leo. Today, Moon in Leo is helping us connect to joyful, heart-filled, fun time energies that we would like to create in the world around us. So I encourage you today to stay connected to your heart, to your courage, to that light, to the growth that you would like to see. Ooh, growth. Where's the card? Where's the card? Growth that you would like to see in the world. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to plant my plants. I know it's still spring, or not even spring yet. I know it's still winter, but I'm really excited to plant plants. So Moon today. Moon is making all of the connections today. It is connecting to Mercury and Venus in Aries. We're actually waking up to that. So that's grand fire trine. That is creative energy. That can be inspiration. It can feel a little like determination, moving towards that light. There's a lot of light in my cards today. Now, of course, this could be a little fiery. We do want to watch egos. Anytime we have especially Aries connecting to Leo, watch the ego. The ego of the wounded child, the ego spurting up here and there. Watch for that. But also watch for where you're feeling creative and where you're feeling that heart energy. And don't hold too long onto any of the, oh, that's my ego. One of the things that popped into my head as I was looking at these scope energies is that Rumi verse, beyond right doing and wrong doing, there's a field and I'll meet you there. And one of my favorite scopes, I was like, there's a tree and I'll meet you there. There's always a tree. And there's always a place where a tree can be planted. Just saying. So bring along the tree to the field. Get beyond the right doing and the wrong doing, and really focus on where the heart is calling and pulling you. The moon is also connecting to Jupiter. Jupiter is the cosmic cheerleader. Well, I would say Gemini is the cosmic cheerleader of Leo, but Jupiter is just expanding the essence of the cosmic cheerleader. Today could be a great day for some beautiful conversations, despite Mercury preparing to retrograde. Lots of potential for inspiration, especially if you think and let yourself drop into the heart and let it show you where it wants to go. So creativity is part of the agenda. This is also Empress card, which is mother. So noticing where you can show up, nurture, mother, the heart, the joy. Groove is in the heart. Hard times require furious dancing. We are building to full moon lunar eclipse. We also are building to this Sun Saturn. That Sun Saturn, they're just, under 2 degrees away from each other. And that Saturn energy can feel hard, it can feel shitty, and it can feel like the karma. And sometimes that can shut down that light. So if you're feeling the shittiness, again, see where you can nurture that light within yourself and honor the presence of Source as guidance for you. But hard times require furious dancing. You get by with a little help from your friends, and you should be dancing, right? So take some time to move this energy through, because oh my goodness, otherwise there's a good chance this week of getting really stuck in the head. Our final card is Rebirth, and I love that this card has this rebirth into this beautiful inner child energy, reconnecting to that innocence that we all carry within ourselves somewhere. And that energy, children are so resilient. The joy in them is so resilient. The energy is so resilient. They can, just pop back up. And I think we all need a little bit of that. These astro energies and the world in general, it's all been whack-a-mole, but we too can be resilient, and that spirit within us is resilient. Now, the first card that came out for the colors is stop, but what I heard was stop, collaborate, and listen. And so I think there's a lot of arguing, and again, that can be that ego stuff, so watch for that. Stop, collaborate, and listen, and then move, grow with determination in the direction of the light. Even if it doesn't follow the plan that you think that it should be following, you still can plant the trees. And the planting the trees, it doesn't have to be a tree. But what is the calling of your heart for planting seeds of goodness and love and joy in the world at this time? Because we all make a difference in doing so. But I guarantee there's a place out there in your world that could use a tree. And imagine if all billion of us in the world, 1 billion of us, 7 billion, how many people are in this world? I don't even know anymore. But imagine if we all planted a tree. Look what love can do. So, leaving that there for today. You can book a reading with me. I do have a little bit of space on Tuesday. If anybody has been like, oh, I don't know if there's time for an eclipse reading. If you have any planets in Virgo and Aries, or you just want that support because this energy is a lot, reach out. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and may your guiding light be strong, and know that you can trust the process, because we are the solution. Namaste.